Today is June 15th. AEW Dynamite just had its Road Rager special, and it was an electrifying night of professional wrestling. I'm GT Schwa, and I'm here to talk all about the highs and the lows of the evening, so let's get right into it. I really loved this episode. I thought it was fantastic. I know I said that about last week's episode as well. I know a lot of people online, from what I could see, were not as into that episode as I was, but I think this one especially was very, very good. Its highs were consistent, and I don't think it had lows as much as it had a couple of moments of confusion and kind of just weirdness in general, but that was few and far between. We're going to get to that all in a moment, but first, let's start with the opening match of the night, Jericho versus Ortiz, hair versus hair. This was in many ways my most anticipated match of the night. I have been so hooked in for the JAS, Eddie Kingston, Jericho, Blackpool Combat Club feud hybrid that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. I have been glued in for this entire program, and the idea of Jericho getting his head shaved on national television, look, I knew that it was pretty unlikely, but the idea that it could happen was enough to hook me in, and it hooked me in. This was an amazing match. The point where Kingston, after a bunch of chaos on the outside of the ring, comes in and cheats first with a spinning back fist to Jericho. I was so certain that that was the win, that we were shaving Jericho, that I had to get out of off the couch that me and my partner were on. I was literally on my knees on the floor like, oh my god, this is it. It was not it, as it turned out. Because other than Jericho kicking out, then he got someone to cheat for him, hitting Ortiz with a bat. A person who it seemed was Fuego del Sol, but turned out was actually Sammy Guevara. And I must just be dumb, because I did not ever consider putting him back with Jericho. I'd been thinking for weeks, hey, he's, after Double or Nothing, after everything that went on with that and all the kind of confusing booking and them turning him heel after people just wanted him to be heel, I wasn't sure what they would do. I figured, they might just give him a couple of weeks off, maybe a month off, wait until the heat dies down. But putting him with Jericho is genius. He is an obnoxious heel, Jericho is an obnoxious heel. They can be obnoxious heels together again. And we learn later on that him and Ty Conti are both official members of the Jericho Appreciation Society. I think that is genius. It makes perfect sense. Shortly after that, Ortiz had shaved and cut his head. He was like bleeding. He looked so angry and so prideful and so intense as he was just cutting locks of the hair off and just shaving his head. It was incredibly intense. I am so excited for Blood and Guts. I think it is going to be an amazing match. They have built this feud so long. I am so excited for it. So after all of that was Wardlow versus the 20 guards, or should I say plaintiffs. The opening, the intro for the match was a little opening video package which had I don't know if it's Law and Order. I don't know what the specific name of the show is, but it's the dun 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 dun, like the courtroom music. It was very funny seeing that and calling Wardlow the defendant, and him coming in and then being surrounded by the guards on all of the different sides of the ring. Also, Wardlow's new intro music, fantastic. It is metal as hell. I really loved it. But Wardlow just gets right to it. This was a squash. This was a 1-in-20 squash. It's all it was ever going to be, but it was a very fun squash. Alright, I gotta speed a little bit to make sure we hit everything, because there's just so much tonight. Dax Hardwood versus Ospreay, an amazing match. Every time I see Ospreay, I am more impressed. He is so charismatic, so lively in the ring, so consistently fantastic. This was top-tier technical wrestling goodness. It was amazing. Ospreay did end up getting the win, but after a number of near falls on both sides, I was certain that he was winning until I wasn't, and then I was certain that Dax was winning, and they really hooked me in the many times that they made it seem like one of them was going to win. Eventually, Ospreay did get the win, and his whole faction of the United Empire came behind him. Then Rocky Romero and Trent and Cash all came out, only for Orange Cassidy's music to hit. I guess he is healed up, he is ready to go. I hadn't thought about this, Orange Cassidy versus Ospreay. As I said before, I don't know a lot about Ospreay going into this, but Orange Cassidy versus anyone who is at all serious is always surprising for me, but it's always good. Orange Cassidy never fails, and he never disappoints, you know, so I'm very excited for this match. It should be a lot of fun. Immediately after that was Ethan Page versus Miro. Ooh, boy, I love me some Miro. This was thankfully not a squash match, because I also love Ethan Page. I think he's very good. And he had a lot of great stuff here, like having his hands up like he's praying, and telling Miro to pray to him. You know, there was a lot of great fighting with Miro's arm, and it getting injured, and kind of going eye for an eye with the arms. Eventually, Miro, obviously, he hulked out and absolutely ripped Ethan Page in half. Not much to say. It was an amazing match. I hope that Miro wins this entire tournament. That man was born to have a belt. He was born to be a champion. So I think that they should push him up to it. After that was a face-off with Moxley and Tanahashi. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little confused as to how this was going to work going into it. I don't know much about Tanahashi, but I was under the impression that he wasn't like a native and fluent English speaker, which from the little we saw from the night, I think that is the case. Moxley took the majority of the promo. He cut a very great promo about how he's been hunting and about how, yeah, he's going for the AEW belt, but really the biggest thing for him is that he's finally facing the ace Tanahashi, and that he is going to dethrone him as the ace. Before Tanahashi gets a chance to speak, Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society come on out. And Jericho is being his, he's doing his whole shtick. He's being a jackass heel, talking about how he should be the one there, but he just wasn't there last week for the Battle Royale. And then the Jericho Appreciation Society and a Suzuki Goon with Lance Archer come out from behind. And Jericho just kind of drops in the middle of the chaos. Hey, also, me and a Suzuki Goon, I think that's who it is. I'm still confused though, but me and two of these guys are going to be facing Wheeler Yuta, and we're going to be facing Eddie Kingston, and we're going to be facing a guy from New Japan. So yeah, take that. And then immediately, oh gosh, I'm honestly kind of forgetting. It was, if I'm being real, this entire segment was kind of a mess. So much happened in it. But it felt honestly a little confusing. Like, the Mox promo was fantastic. It was great. And Jericho coming out immediately wasn't terrible, but it felt like he came out here just to crowbar in, oh, by the way, we have this other 3-on-3 match that's going to happen at Forbidden Door. It felt a little rushed, which I think overall, that is a lot of the build with the New Japan stuff and with Forbidden Door. Unfortunately, it feels like, not all of it, but a lot of it feels like they're just kind of trying to shoehorn it in as best as they can. I would have liked a little bit more in terms of the build for this, a little bit more actual, like, long-term storytelling. Or if that wasn't possible, at least just some more clear-cut, hey, here's this guy from New Japan, here is who he is, here's why we should care about them. We got that with Ospreay. We've clearly been introduced to Ospreay and the United Empire, but this just felt a little fast and a little dirty and a little confusing. Up next, at least I think it was next, I might have the order a little confused, was Britt Baker versus Toni Storm, in what was a very solid match. This is their third or fourth time in the ring together, and you can really tell that they have great chemistry in the ring together. They are absolutely fantastic. Thunder Rosa at one point had run down from the back in order to make the save while Jamie Hayter was trying to cheat and getting in the way. Toni Storm ended up getting the win, and I'm really happy for her. I'm glad that they're giving her a lot now that she is in the company. Her and Athena, they are consistently treating like big deals. It seems like they're maybe trying to avoid what they've done with someone like a Ruby Soho, where they brought her in, built her up like a big deal, and then we just never saw her for months on end. I don't know. Only time will tell, but I am very happy that Toni got the win. It turns out that this match is going to be at Forbidden Door with her versus Thunder Rosa, which I'm super excited about. I didn't think we were going to have any of the women's matches on the card since we weren't going to have Stardom, but I am super excited about that. I hope that it is a great match. Hangman Adam Page had a promo, and look, I'm just going to say verbatim what happened in this promo first. Hangman Adam Page comes out, he says, hey, I messed up last week because I challenged Okada for the belt when realistically he could have, and he did, lose that belt. But I'm still leaving the challenge on the door. I still want to face Okada at Forbidden Door. And Adam Cole comes out and he says, whoa, Hangman. you are not going to get a match with Jay White. I am getting a match with Jay White. Only for Jay White to come out and attack Hangman from behind, and for him to go, that's right, Hangman, I am the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and I'm not giving you a match, and I'm not giving Adam Cole a match either. I'm going to tell you who I'm facing later on. And then he left. So this segment was weird. It felt confused. It felt like all three of the people in the segment hadn't spoken to one another about what was going to be happening. Because Hangman didn't say anything about facing Jay White. He just wanted to face Okada, only for Adam Cole to be like, well, Okada's not going to be there, and no, you're not allowed to face Jay White. But it's like, dude, he never challenged Jay White. So what are you talking about? And so Jay White is not going to be facing Adam Cole either. But hey, aren't you on the same team? Why would you want to fight each other? It was just a little confusing in that regard. At this point, like with a lot of the New Japan stuff, I just want to wash my hands of this and be like, all right, who is fighting who? Because at this point, I'm having a hard time engaging with any of the storylines in a lot of this. I just want to know, is Hangman facing Okada? Is he facing Jay White? Is it going to be a three-way match with Adam Cole? What is going on? So I didn't even hate this as much as I was like, I don't really know what's happening. Please make it a little bit clearer. The final match of the night was the Young Bucks versus Jurrasic Express. Now, very briefly, if you don't know, Jeff Hardy got a DUI about 2 days ago. So him and Matt Hardy were taken out of this match. Jeff has been suspended. It sounds like he's going to be getting some help. Best wishes to him in that regard. You know, I hope that he's okay. I hope he gets the help he needs with his own troubles with addiction. But that left us with Young Bucks versus Jurrasic Express. I can't even say I can complain because that is just a money match. Those two with ladders, absolutely fantastic. Both teams went out the wazoo with spots. It was a lot of fun. If you like Bucks spot fests, this was a fantastic Bucks spot fest. I really enjoyed it personally. It was a lot of fun. We had the big Luchasaurus getting thrown through a giant pyramid of tables, basically. We had what looked like was going to be a BTE trigger on top of the ladder, only for the Bucks to get thrown off the ladder. But eventually, with everything going down in the match, Jungle Boy was defeated. The Bucks got the belts. They are now the two-time AEW tag team champs. I'm not going to say I called this because I definitely didn't, but I knew that something was changing soon. Because Jurrasic Express have had a very fun reign. I've really enjoyed them as champs, but I knew that their story was going to get a lot better after they lost the belts. And it basically did right away. Because right after, as the Bucks leave, Christian is checking on Luchasaurus, then he goes into the ring, checks on Jungle Boy's pulling him in, and then he pulls him out and hits him with a kill switch in the middle of the ring. Only for him to get the steel chairs, hit him with a concerto in the middle of the ring. We are getting heel Christian. I am so excited. They've been building this up forever. Arguably, maybe a little too long. You know, it would have been cool to maybe see this happen when they were the champs. But overall, I am super excited for this, and it was a great way to cap a great episode. Overall, I really loved this episode. I thought that it had a lot of fun. The only negatives are a lot of the Forbidden Door confusion. At this point, while I'm enjoying a lot of the New Japan talents that are showing up here, I'm at a point now where it's like, I just want to know what the card is. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time. And then we can move on and start building some more chill, long-term stories here. Because right now it feels like everything is a mad dash sprint. Half of our stars are injured. A lot of other drama behind the scenes with like Andrade and the Lucha Brothers. So as much as I'm excited for Forbidden Door, I'm also excited for it to be over so we can move on to something new. But yeah, that was my thoughts on this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. What did you think? Let me know in the comments section below. I am GT Schwa. I will see you all in the next one.